Hey, beautiful people. Welcome to another episode of the Best Couple podcast. You're here with me, Sarit and Stevie K. Okay, guys. Hi. I hope everyone's doing well and not as tired as we are, because I'm actually really exhausted. Really exhausted. Things have been so hectic for us this week, like super busy. It's that time of year. Christmas is coming, and it's like there's so much going on.
It's every time of the year.
With work. At the moment, I'm just thinking about food. I'm just like, I can't wait till we switch off and what we're going to eat. Like, what is food tonight? And I was actually on my app just now on KFC thinking what I'm going to have.
And then on top of that, I'm just looking and going, Sweet's going to like move her mic and her wine's going to go everywhere. And yeah, but I'm not going to say why I think it's going to go everywhere. But
yeah, we know.
Things do go everywhere.
Apparently, I'm a clumsy clock.
And who else?
And I drop everything.
And who else?
I did, yesterday. You didn't see yesterday as we got out the car when we went out. My Red Bull can.
See,
it's falling over the floor.
And when we went to this event. If you haven't seen Sweet's TikTok,
what did I drop? I didn't drop nothing.
We went to the event where our son dropped the drinks.
Yeah.
Like they
I think
take
it's
turns.
You jinx it. You're always on the lookout and watching because you feel that we're going to do it.
No, I don't even have to say anything. I can just sit there and one or the other is going to do it. Even now, setting up everything. She was going, what would you like me to take downstairs? Because we do, obviously you guys know that we've got so many different channels. So we've been working on Magic Flicks all day. Which is our other
hence
channel.
why we are exhausted.
Haven't eaten.
But also we want to prepare before Christmas as well. We want to, obviously spend time with the kids and family when they come home.
Doing some extra work.
So doing extra work. So we got backup and stuff because we want to have time off. And this is the thing. The thing is, people think being content creators is an easy thing. It's so not. It's all down to you and how much effort and time you put into it. Because it's not like a normal pay.
I mean, it's different for different channels. Like there's some channels that only post one video a week.
Yeah.
And I know that they also do things on other social medias. I don't do much on Instagram, as you can see. Sweet does TikTok. But with Magic Flicks, we post 2 videos a day. So can you imagine? Like we do 2 videos a day and always have done. So so finding those videos, doing those videos, then editing in between. And then, like you said, we're trying to do some backup videos for before Christmas so we can have a time period, time off. And then on top of that...
As it's not like a 9-to-5 job, you have that week off for Christmas or whatever it might be. No. You have that time off, whereas here, you have to make sure... Obviously, people are still going to work. They've got to get their stuff done before they leave. But with content creating, you got to make sure it's still...
Yeah, certainly if you want to also promote it and do things like now, so it'll be up till night. Not editing things on a TikTok or something or the other.
Not that I want to or choose to. It's just because I have to fit my stuff in, and it's exhausting. It really is. Like it comes to a point where I'm like, oh.
And don't get me wrong, enjoy doing what we do.
Yeah.
And it's not that we don't. It's just that when you're trying to do those things, and obviously there's times when you're just burnt out and you're exhausted, or times when you haven't eaten. It's like now we haven't eaten anything all day, and neither of us. It's late as well, so
which means it's not a good thing drinking on an empty stomach.
But it's very late, so in the sense that after finishing, like I said, Magic Flicks, we've come to do the podcast because we have been doing the podcast more or less last minute before we've got to post it the next day, so staying up all night to edit that and sort everything out. So we thought, okay, we'll do this and then we'll eat. We ain't gonna have time to cook.
Yeah.
And we haven't done no shopping for it.
I'm not standing in the kitchen today. There's no chance after this that I'm going to be cooking. I just want to sit and have... plus, yes, there was takeout. I know we had takeout when we went out.
We had it for lunch.
Yeah, but I was just like, I weren't in the mood to go out yesterday. And it was tiring yesterday as well. And I thought, today, we'll make up for yesterday's evening. And plus, he's just come down and he's like, oh, what we having? We didn't eat out last night. I was like, oh, here we go.
And then the other thing is, it's like we've got other videos coming out tomorrow that we've got to film.
So on the go again tomorrow as well.
So it's continuous.
It's tiring, and obviously, like you said, you just want to spend time with the kids and family when they come back. And you've got that as well. You've got the house. So it's not just content creation. Someone asked me that on TikTok this morning. How do you manage cleaning the house as well? Like keeping on top of the house.
So I think that basically that's it. When you have your own business or you're self-employed or you're doing your own stuff, it is trying to keep on top of not only doing the work that you have to do, and obviously like with content creating, we have to keep, maybe just like everyone else, keeping the people that come to support us, make sure that we're active, replying, responding, going on TikTok lives as well. So we're doing all that. And then on top of that, it's like making sure that we eat, when we can, spending some time, as a family, and also trying to sort the house out. Certainly now, like I said, Christmas,
Yeah.
I've got to get the other decorations out, like the tree out and stuff. Street's got to choose whatever she's got to do. We want to make sure we've got a few days there. We want to make sure we've got days to shop. We want to make sure we've got days to visit, people and spend time.
It's like, it is crazy. And it's like, we haven't really properly had time together. I know we went out yesterday, but it's not like we haven't really had time.
We've been out again whilst we were out, even then, Street's content creating.
We work together. And we do everything together. It's like we haven't had that proper quality time together. So it's well needed. And I think that's...
And then as soon as evening comes, honestly, one or the other, either one's working or the other one's trying to switch off to recharge and re-energize so they can work the next day. And the reason why we're having this discussion is because I know some people go, well, we don't care, what you're not going to talk about. There's people out there who ask us, how do you balance it all? And considering there's some people who only got one channel and they post it, or they got people who are working. And we've had people that worked with us or worked for us. Yeah. And they've been great, but then again, it ends up becoming a lot of work because you're managing them and checking out the work, and sometimes things don't go according to plan, which creates even more work.
Yeah.
And so it's that. So it's not always easy to balance everything, and there is times when. But again, I have to say, I wouldn't change what I'm doing now to go back in the police force. Never ever.
I wouldn't even have to ask him this question. I just know how much happy he is.
I'd rather be burnt out doing this than go back into that job ever. And that's the thing. It's like now the good thing about us is, like Street this morning, I was up, I was ready. I could have got going, but Street had her work. You had your own stuff to do, so she thought, let me do that.
I just felt like
I thought I don't want to push her.
I was working till late, and then I just needed my time to switch off because we sat and we did watch something, and I thought, and again, I don't know whether it is me. I was interested in the movie, first of all, but then I don't know. I was like, instead of thinking about myself, I was like,
you didn't have to watch it.
I know I didn't have to, but I just like you, I am that kind of person who thinks of the other
But
person.
I've already seen it before.
I know, but I wanted to, in a way,
We're still watching Interstellar, and the thing is, if anyone's watched it, I've seen it before. It's just that I couldn't be asked to find anything, but I needed to just switch off.
But I think
I don't know if other people
really need to switch off as well, and I was really enjoying it, and I was like, oh, I was in 2 minds. Well, should I be doing this, or should I be doing what I should be doing? So I can go to bed early. And I went late, and obviously I woke up a little late, which is okay. And I could have jumped on with you and done our work straight away. But it's like my time in the morning, especially on a weekend. I just want to take that chill pill. But I think that's going to have to change as well, because weekends.
See, and this is what it is. It's like, I think also, if you was a content creator by yourself, or we were both doing two individual, sort of work, you was a content creator of your own, and I was doing my own individual work, then you can more or less go, oh, okay, you know what? You can work till late, early, whenever, and I can work my own times. It's because we do the podcast together, and obviously I've got my own channel, which I do by myself, do the podcast together. We do the, obviously, Magic Flicks together, and then Sweet's got her TikToks that she does. So when it's that, it's like trying to fit in your own stuff in between. Like earlier, like you said, Sweet stayed up late. I went to sleep. It was probably about 30-40 minutes earlier I went to sleep. But I watched Interstellar. I've seen it before. But when, I don't know if other people do this, when you're so exhausted that there's movies that you want to watch, considering I love movies, and majority of the work on Magic Flicks is to do with movies. I love movies. But when you want to watch something new, you want to be fully awake, and you want to be ready. And you know what? I want to watch it. I don't want to be, half tired, sleepy, and then not fully grasp it. I'd rather just watch something that I've seen before. Yeah. That I've already enjoyed, but I haven't seen it for a while. And that's what I end up doing. And then, like I said, in the morning when Sweet got up, she got up after me. I didn't rush her because, again, it is the weekend. So I thought, she'll have a coffee and then we'll get going. We knew that we were going to film. And but she started doing her own work, and I thought, okay, so I've got everything ready. But instead of going, come on, we can get this done now. I can, start a lot earlier, get the rest of the stuff done, and then we can just do our individual stuff. I didn't want to do that because I know that sometimes we need time to do our own stuff. So I started doing the dishes and stuff like that. I just thought, okay, that's going to be something that you're going to end up going, wow, whilst he's editing, I'll do the dishes, I'll clean the kitchen. So I'll get that out of the way while she's getting ready. But then she jumped on a TikTok live while she's getting ready.
I didn't tell you, I wasn't on long, and it's just obviously...
Which is also part of our job, so it's not like
exactly.
it's not a saying that it's a negative, but you jumped on it, and it was, but then you got to engage and stuff. You can't just get ready and here I go.
Yeah.
So but that's all part and parcel, like...
Yeah, and the thing is, we enjoy it. It doesn't matter. It is obviously, it's not easy. That's what I said as well. Like, people think it's... content creating is easy,
Yeah,
anyone
they
can
just
do
think
it.
you come in front of the camera, you've got a script, you say what you got to say, and then off you go, and then what else do you have to do?
It's crazy.
No,
it's really like kind of I think made us our confidence a lot more than what it was. I know mine definitely from when I first started. I just remember I used to like really like, oh my god, in front of the camera, what do I say? Really nervous. Even in fact, I didn't even start off speaking. You do all the talking when we started off with the other channel.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it. And remember when I started to actually do the introducing ourselves, and how many times I used to mess up. I know I still mess up here or there, but just getting used to.
You still do that?
Just getting used to. Everyone does, so do you. We all do. But like how bad it was when I first started, nervous and everything. The nerves are really kicking. But how... we've both grown from it as well, the confidence and everything. I think it's something I definitely needed, like especially the way things were with me and how I used to feel about myself. Doing what I do has really built me, and I'm really grateful for it, and I really enjoy what I do regardless of how hard it is, and the fact that we actually still like everything we have to do, as well as the house and the kids and having time and stuff. It's not an easy thing.
It's a very hard balancing act. But like Sarit said, this is for all the people who are actually out there who want to be content creators or who have tried and, either felt like it's too much or hard. It wasn't easy when we began. Like Sarit said,
Remember
it wasn't easy
script?
for me. I didn't. Yeah.
This dude.
So if you guys,
the first ever video we did.
we've already mentioned it on a video.
Yeah, but not everyone. Everyone's new. We're going to be repeating a million things all the time. The first video we ever did, first of all, I had no idea what we actually were going to do, so I just jumped on with him. He had a script, and
not that I needed one. It's just that we reacted to 2 videos, and and then I wrote down. I knew the actors, I knew the director, I know what they've made him before, but it wasn't the script of in the sense that I'm going to say this, that, and the other. No. It was more or less like, I can say this, that, and the other about this, and don't forget.
Just imagine, though, even now, if we were starting off a podcast from the very beginning now, and we never done any YouTube or anything, that's what you would have done. You would have maybe have jotted down everything and would have
people do still now. They, when people are giving advice, because it was weird. It was like, I used to follow, like people who help you create YouTube channels. And it was crazy because when I started, I was looking at them and they had like 350,000 subscribers. And I used to go, wow, that's amazing. And they used to tell you how to do, create your channel and do all the stuff. And I was listening to it, script it. Some people script it, some people bullet points, whatever suits you. Some people read off the, whatever prompter, whatever it is. And so I used to look at all that. And like I said, I started writing a book that, our first 2 reactions, I can still remember. It was Tanaji and Good News. So I ended up writing for both things. That I'm going to cover this actor, this, that, and the other, the things that I liked about him. So it's conversational. I didn't want to be like other people who just watch something and just, that's it. And then they post it, which they still do. I know about my movies, but it was more or less like being nervous in front of the camera. So I ended up doing that. And then after we'd done the first 2, Sweet just went,
you need to,
because I was uncomfortable. I was like going, make sure, blah, blah, blah.
It wasn't,
ditch it.
First, he was obviously having to write down what he wants
to speak.
Plus,
nervous.
And then remembering it. And then the nerves, his tone of voice, you could feel the trembling in his voice. And I was like, you really don't need this. If you know Steve has always been into his movies. He knows everything from, inside out. And he does have my head in. And this is why I said to him, this is what you really need to do.
But I don't like to do it in the, like the way that these, sometimes the professional people who do the, criticize it in
this
certain
is
ways. I don't like it. I like to do it just like, like every normal person, just authentic, just say it how it is.
Exactly. And this is something, talking about content creating, we've spoken about
be yourself.
yeah, how it isn't easy. It's built our confidence, but it is what you've realized is you have to be yourself. And
Yeah.
because you see everyone, like you're saying about the numbers and stuff, you look at other people like, wow. I mean, I've got like, I don't know, 100K on my Instagram, TikTok, whatever else now, and the numbers mean nothing. But before, when we weren't doing it, all these social media accounts and stuff, to me, you'd look in and you think, shit, man, wow, they've got that much. Remember we went abroad? Do you remember when we went abroad to Dubai? And we went on a safari desert trip. And it was absolutely amazing. Obviously, they pick up other people on the way from other hotels, and a couple jumped in. A lot of couples jumped in, and this one couple we really got on with. By the end of the night, they kind of gave us their information, number, even their Instagram handle. And I got home, I didn't have no reception, so as soon as I got to the hotel, I kind of added him. He added me. Still follow him. And realised he had like people. Absolutely lovely. He had like 18K on his Instagram, and to me, I was like, "Whoa, he's famous! He's a professional footballer.
He's a professional footballer.
He's a professional footballer." And I'm like,
Abroad,
"Oh my
though.
God!" He did not once say that he was that.
I'm not going to mention his name, but
no,
he's a well-known professional footballer.
He didn't make it was
brag
a big
about
person.
it. He didn't say I am. And
it's crazy though. When I was showing Steve, I says, "Oh my God, we've met a famous person. Like he's literally everywhere." And now, doing what we do, I have like 100K, I have 50K, 50, whatever on, and obviously with the numbers, it doesn't feel like
even with that, that girl that we were like, like several YouTubers that I looked. How do you start a YouTube channel?
Yeah.
I was looking at them and going, wow. We surpassed them.
Yeah.
And it was weird because it was
like... You remember how you felt when you saw them?
When you saw their numbers, it felt, oh my God, this is massive.
Yeah.
I saw people with 20, 30,000 and I thought, wow, big YouTube channel. Even people at work when they used to say, oh my God, look, this person's got 20.
Yeah.
And you're going, wow, they've done really well. And then like when we first started and we hit the 1,000, trust me, it was like a wow moment.
It was a wow moment.
Then you got to like 5,000, 10,000. And each time you kept on going, oh my God, this is amazing. Got to 50. It was like, I think we had the biggest probably celebration and happy faces when we reached 50 and 100,000. Yeah. And then after that, all of a sudden, you just got lost in it. It just like went...
Lost in not even the numbers, that you're chasing the numbers. It just became like, oh, okay. And it doesn't matter. It's nothing. That's how it felt.
Now, like we're on 700,000, over 700,000 on one, and we're on nearly 40,000 on the other. And it just became like...
It's not about the numbers, is it? And it's not about the numbers. You learn so much on your journey about yourself. And that's one thing. I think if we didn't do this, I don't think there would have been any self-improvement. No growth at all.
I think that's what it's done.
Stuck in such a rut. And it's changed us completely. Like the things that we've done and we repeated, and the mistakes we've made, just anything like, even if it's like communicating and like putting stuff out there, the way we've done it, the way we've handled stuff, so much has changed and we've grown so much. And I just think it's just been a crazy journey. And I just feel like we're still learning as well.
Oh, yeah. And I think every single thing is a growth. And like I said, most importantly, like started doing solo videos and stuff like that. I mean, Sweet does it for TikToks and everything, and she's very good. And if you haven't seen, go into her TikTok channel and have a look at everything that she posts, travels around and does it. She makes it seem like so easy, but it's not, because the time and effort that she puts in actually doing it. But she enjoys it. You can see that she loves just getting out, doing the stuff, even at home. But even when she's at home and she's editing it all together, and then she wants to do the voiceover, everyone shut up, get out the way, don't even make a noise. And it's that kind of thing. So, but again, it's something that she didn't used to do, but she loves doing it, even though it takes so much time when she stays up night or gets up early and starts to do it.
Because we do so much, it's fitting in my.
And then with me is I've been doing my solo channel, and trust me, I found that the hardest, because when we first started our journey, we done it together.
Yeah.
So we can still have, each other to bounce off on, even though it wasn't always easy, but we had that, you feel a bit more comfort. And if you guys go on my other channel, you'll see that it's taken me ages to be able to talk in front of the camera by myself.
Yeah. And you can actually see the changes and the growth in you so much. And obviously I know how you felt when you were going to do it on your own. You'd want me out the house, maybe.
Yeah, even now I want
to make sure no one's listening.
I still want her out the house.
So when I'd come back from shopping and stuff, and he's like in a real good mood, or he's just like got so much done. I'm like, what you been up to? I just found a video. I'm like, oh, okay. So I have to be out for you to film.
It's weird. It's like basically if there, I just feel like I can't. It's crazy. It's like I just need my space and my time. And I'm guessing other people do that because they either film from the basement or the garage, or they have the headphones on. And other people, you know, certainly, like now I could talk with Sri and I've got the camera on. I know it's on and I've got no issue. But if I was going to be in front of the camera now, it would be me thinking, is she out, or is she doing her thing, or whatever? And it's more sweet than, you know, like if Vera was in the house, there wouldn't be a problem.
Why do you think that's more me?
I don't know.
There's got to be a reason.
I don't know. But it's that thing of now, if you see the videos that I've done at the start, I used to be, you know, it's like I know what I want to do. Because of your own journey that you went through, either because I was in a job in the police force that I was in there for ages and I didn't enjoy it. But when you have a family and you got bills to pay, you feel stuck. You feel trapped and you feel like you got no choice but to do it. But you want to somehow get out. So I was going through that. And then when not only that, as a man, husband, father, you feel that you're responsible for looking after everyone and you've got all this on you. I'm sure everyone else feels the same. That, you know, if a woman is struggling or she finds it harder, I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm just saying, or a child or everyone just like sympathizes and going, look, can we support you? Can we help you? You know? Yeah. But when it's a man who's like going, you know what, I'm finding this difficult, I don't want to do this. It's like, just man up, dude.
Yeah, you should have your shit together.
Get on with it. And like, but I don't like my job. Loads of people don't like it, just do it.
I think in your case, that wasn't even the case as well, because you don't have any male models or anyone that you could turn around and talk to. And so it was so much more difficult. Like when I look at that time period when you were thinking of leaving work, I think what would have really have helped is if you had a good bunch of friends, or just someone, or a guy friend, anyone.
Because the only people that I would talk to were people in the police force, and I couldn't tell them.
You didn't tell anyone?
Yeah, I didn't tell anyone. No.
Yeah.
So.
And it's strange because you used to go into work counting down the days that you were going to leave, and no one knew about it. Like you couldn't turn to anyone. I think that, and obviously us women, we talk about everything. So to hold something in like that, and obviously still thinking, shit, having to rely on yourself and your own thoughts. Oh my God, is this going to work? Is it not going to work? All those.
And here's that fear. Like everyone has the fear of leaving their job. But you know, when you think like a captain of the ship, like I said, a father or husband thinks that, you know what, if I'm the sole breadwinner and this all relies on me and I'm about to leave a job that's secure and that in the next 10 years or so, I'm going to get a pension, blah, blah, blah. You know what? Yeah, I'm done anyway. And, you know, I mean, not that you can't go back, but the thing is, it was like, I'm about to take a risk to do something. And if it fails, it's not just me going down. I mean, if you're a youngster, that's what I would say. If you're young and you're living with your parents and you haven't got bills to pay or whatever, or you have got some support. And I used to say this to Sri. I used to go, you know what? You
are in the best position.
You're in the best position. I used to actually say this. You know what? If I could be in your shoes right now.
Yeah. Do you remember the arguments we used to have about that?
That honestly, we used to argue because I used to go, you're not in my shoes. If I was in your shoes now, because Sri was, you know, she looked after the kids and everything. And I'm not saying she didn't have a job because it's not easy. But I used to look at her and going, do you know the opportunity that you have right here, right now, to do something that you want to do? Because if you do it and it becomes something, it'll be great for you. If you do it, or if you do it and it does great, even I can probably leave my job because I can go, I don't care. For me, it was at that point, I don't care what people think. If you can make the money that I'm making, I'll happily leave and look after the kids because I can't stand it. And then at the same time, I was like going, if you can do this and it makes you happy, you know, great for you. You know what? It'll help us in life that, you know, with whatever we're doing. And if you do it and you fail, it doesn't matter because I've already got you.
Yeah.
I can't do that. Yeah. I cannot do something, you know, without, if it fails, it's going to take everyone down kind of thing. And it's that.
And just thinking of
it's like an anchor on your thingy.
Yeah.
You know?
And the worst part about it is having to, you know, be in your own thoughts and the doubts you must have had, and maybe in your partner. I don't even think that you used to speak about it much. You used to go into your own little world. And not the fact that you didn't have like no one to just, you know, and the support, there was nothing there, no one to turn to. So it was the hardest thing ever. And even though it was doing really well, you still, so there's so many doubts. You were still like, well, this could go tomorrow. Anything could happen. And you
know
had
what?
your break.
Even when
yeah, because you're like, shit.
Yeah.
I've left the job, and this was like a year or two in.
Yeah.
You've left
Guys,
the job.
I actually went into self-sabotage mode because that's how I used to be anyway. And I started, and this might be relatable to other people, even though the channel was a success.
It was a success.
And we were making money and we were getting collaborations and we were getting celebrities like, you know, going, can you react to our videos and stuff? I went into self-sabotage mode of like going, damn, this could go tomorrow. And if this goes tomorrow, I would have to find another job. Might have to go back to where I've, you know, been. And I don't want to do that. Yeah. And honestly, instead of going, damn, doing this job for 20 years, I've got out of it by doing something that I really love and really enjoy.
Because you're really hyped up about it. Like, can you imagine? Like, so he's working.
I used to work in the evenings all night, didn't I?
So he's still at the job. No one knows he's going to leave, and he's working. He's coming back. We're working together for the channel. He'd go to work. He'd be replying to people. So he's really excited. He'll come home and he's like, oh my God, excited. As soon as he's left, I felt like there was no celebration at all that you had left. Or I felt like also in my head now, just thinking about it whilst you're saying you left, I was like,
I left that Christmas.
Considering
guys, 4 years ago.
Oh my God, this
December the 25th is when my last day at work was in the police force. And they asked me why Christmas Day, because I could give a day that I want to leave. And why Christmas Day? I'm giving myself the gift of freedom.
Oh, it makes me well, like,
honestly forget that. I said that's what I always wanted in life. So I'll give myself the gift of freedom. It was my gift.
And, you know, it wasn't just like you had this gift and we, you know, obviously you looked forward to what was next to come, but what came with it was unreal. Everything we faced along the way it wasn't easy from there that you left. And oh my God, you just carried on working on the channel. The self-doubt, the self-sabotage.
You didn't think about it,
even at that, we did not.
At that time, it was just excitement of leaving. It wasn't like, and then it was like, oh shit, what have I just done?
Even the excitement, there was no celebration. Oh my God, 20 years in the force. That not even did the police force celebrate you leaving. Yeah. And the thing is, I'm looking at it now, I'm thinking the kids it didn't feel like there was nothing with when the kids knew that you left, it wasn't like they cared.
Yeah, considering they knew that dad hated the job, but yet he'd done it no matter what, and you know, and always wanted to get out, and finally got it. Like going,
it wasn't like a big deal to them either. Like, oh my God.
And he was like going, yeah, people leave their jobs and they find another one.
But now, you know, when you see them leaving a job, whether they've been 8 months, a year, you know, they have these big parties or, you know, they actually celebrate it. I know one of them did anyway. They have this little leave and do, you know, you didn't get none of that, first of all, from work, but you expected that for us to have that little special moment for you. We
didn't have a big celebration, did we?
No.
We didn't make it special.
I don't think...
oh my God, you know what, this guy's...
Dad's left work,
where he felt he was drowning, finally he feels like he's breathing.
Yeah.
Let's make this special. Yeah. Let's make this like, wow, you've got out of somewhere that you felt that you was in this. And this is what's relatable. I'll tell you this now. I was seeing a therapist at the time, like, you know, life coach, but she was also a therapist. And at that time, because she knew that I loved movies. So this is like, I'm going to tell you guys. She knew I loved movies. She was great. She was like a psychiatrist, therapist, life coach, but I had her as a life coach. So she was very qualified. And she said to me, I want you to pick any movie and I want you to write down just 1 minute from that movie, what I would have done in film studies, because I studied film studies and I studied media. So write down, you know, one scene, anything about it, like the panning, the sound, whatever it is that makes you connect and what you found from it. There's 3 scenes that I, you know, thought of that I wanted to do, and I watched them. And I went with one because she said just do one. But the 3 scenes that I chose, and I told her which of the scenes they were. There was a scene from Misery. So look at the title, Misery, right? There's a scene when James Caan is basically at the moment where he's like sort of like trying to escape kind of thing, and Kathy Bates is coming back, and at the same time he's trying to, like, you know, make sure that he gets back into a room and locks it all up before she finds out. So he's like trying to save himself kind of thing. And he's doing all that. So he's wants to escape, but he's locked himself in.
Yeah.
That was one. The second scene was Jaws. So it was when they're all on the boat and the sharks around them and they can't go. And they're like wondering how they're going to get out of this boat. And you can see the tent thing with all three of them. And, you know, Jaws is around kind of thing like that. So it's, and there's a specific scene from that. And then the third one, which is what I went with, was from The Dark Knight Rises. It was when Bruce Wayne was in the pit. And they were he was looking up at the pit. And he was trying to climb out of it. And he kept on, you know, with the rope. And he kept on falling. And then he decides that, you know, and then they're all like singing, chanting the song. Like, we're chanting something. Something to do with, what was it? I can't recall. But something to do with a fear or whatever it might be. And he decides that he was going to take the leap without the rope. And that's when he, you know, like, you got to go across the fear. But he could see that. And that was the scene that I gave her. And she said, do you know, each one that you've seen, that's you. You not only, you picked 3 scenes where a person is trapped. People are trapped. They're trapped on a boat, shark around. He's trapped by this psycho killer, you know what I mean, who's keeping him captive. He can't even move. He's trapped in a pit. You're looking up at that pit. You can see your escape. You can see that you're capable of getting out, but you just don't know how. And the thing is, it's overcoming the fear and, you know, to make, you know, like, and whatever the fear might be, the shark, the person, the pit, you know what I mean? You've got to overcome those things and you got to get yourself out. Yeah. Is that, but you're that person and you can see who you are. And it was that, and it was like going, wow, oh my gosh, this is before I chose to take the leap into creating content. And this is what I mean, that sometimes we don't know why certain movies, certain songs, certain things make us feel a lot more. Sometimes we see ourselves in it. Yeah. We feel us. Yeah. And we're trying to look for the answer, or we're looking for the hope or the direction, or there's something. But I didn't think about that when I picked those 3 parts. It's only when she said to me, do you know, so you've got to overcome that fear of you can see a way out. Now find it. Yeah. You got to get out. That's what you want. You feel trapped.
It really every time he's, you know, and it does upset me still. It upsets me because I remember it, and I remember when you came home and told me it. I remember when you're looking for like those 3 as well. It just feels like it seems like yesterday. Time has gone so quickly, but also I think the upset part. First of all, I'm like, you know what? I'm glad we've gone through those things, because if we didn't, you wouldn't have figured out certain things. Secondly, it does really upset me because when you look back at that, as much as you don't want to,
the wins.
Yeah, there were so many wins as well.
The successes.
Like, you leaving work was a big thing, and that wasn't celebrated.
No.
There's many times that we
continuing
hit a milestone.
Doing it for 20 years, I want to get out of there.
And it's not just me. The kids knew what you were going through as well, and how much it was really affecting you. And God,
it was more or less like, I've left, and it's like, okay, now I just got on with the next step in life. It wasn't just
the kids, it was obviously people, family members, everyone knew that
you
left.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, I just got into the next step in life, and let me just get on. I've got to make this.
Without even processing anything, like I think you need to, oh my God, this is
and I think
20 years.
What I went into, you know,
you had a routine.
Yes. But there was a routine
now,
with that job that someone else told me when to come, how to do it. And now I'm not in a routine, which isn't easy,
and
to be honest.
We're in each other's space 24/7.
That's not easy, because we never were. We used to have space.
Which partners like are together 24/7? I mean, we are still now as well. Like, you know.
No, but I think, you know what? When I was in the police force, I was in survival mode. I was basically trying to go through a job, doing something I didn't like. And like I said, I'm not saying I'm the only one. There's loads of people out there
because people can say boohoo and what.
And,
like, we all go through it.
And that's the thing, you get on with it. So I was in survival mode. But then when I finally got free from it to do something that I really enjoyed,
stop you there?
I went into survival mode again.
There is people that go through it that, you know, and people do look in and say, boohoo. You know, there are people who have a job that they don't enjoy, but you were going into depression. And I think that we could all see it. And it was terrifying. And the fact that, you know, the lows were so bad, the things that were coming along with it was so bad. Like it was just such a scary part of our time. And there is many people who go through that as well. You know what I mean? So it isn't like something you just brush under the carpet. You kind of had to put that to the side as well as soon as you left, because you were struggling. You'd come home and, you know, you'd have so many different symptoms all the time. And some of the times it was so hard to see you go through that. But as soon as you left, it's like, okay, now, yay. But it wasn't like, yay, I'm celebrating. It's just get into it.
It was yay,
I've got to make this work.
Like I said, it's survival mode in the sense that, damn, now I've got no choice but to make this work.
Yeah.
And if this fails, not only do, you know, like if you see the last podcast that I talked about, again, everyone's going to laugh or look at me and going, haha, you know what, that person who's trying to people please, try to prove he's good enough, try to prove he's not a failure. Now, if this doesn't work, I'm everything that everyone sees in me and everything that I feel about me that, you know, that I think people think. I've got to make this work. Then at the same time, it was like, damn, if I fail this, my wife, my kids, what the heck's going to happen with them? And then, you know, again, I'm going to feel like it's my fault. It's my responsibility.
I think we did a podcast.
So I put a lot on myself. And then I started self-sabotaging again myself.
Yeah, we did a podcast not long ago.
I started struggling. I went into depression again.
And that's where it is. We did a we did a podcast a while ago where I got really emotional, because those times, as much as I feel like I think like you do need to look back just to see how far you've come and, you know, the progresses that you've made. But because it was such a difficult time, I didn't think that we were going to get past it because of how bad it was. So it wasn't just like people can think it was so freaking difficult.
And what people don't understand is, you know, when you're going through depression, you're feeling you know, really low, even though, you know, like you're doing something. Certainly when you're doing something in front of the camera and you know there's so many people watching, you have to pick yourself up, you have to dust yourself off, and you've got to, again, what I felt like, even though I'm always genuine and authentic in how I come across on camera and stuff like that, but there was times when I had to react and do all those videos, just like, you know, when you're going in the police force and I'm feeling crap and I'm feeling depressed, and you still be professional. And you're just like going, okay, I got my uniform on, I've got to deal with these situations and that stuff. You're not trying to think of what I'm going through or what's happening at home.
The difference is when you're going out to work, you completely switch, especially when you've got a uniform on as well. You're out the house, you're a completely different person regardless of what you're going through. Here you're at home, you're still home in the presence of everything you're feeling and dealing with and having to put a face on to show the world. But yet inside you're still feeling all the emotions, and it's not an easy thing to do.
And the other thing is, you know, when you go out, what I would say is, like, you know, like you can even tell colleagues, or, you know, you could tell your superiors at that time, going, you know what, this is what I'm dealing with, so they're aware. But you can just still be professional and get on with stuff. But you also feel like you're giving I'm not away from my family. My family don't know what I'm going through or feeling, or they don't have to see it. Yeah. But when you're at home and they can see it, so when they see it, you feel even more guilty, because you're feeling like, I'm here and everyone can see what I'm going through and how I'm feeling, and what they can see is not what I want them to see. And that's making you feel even more guilty that, oh my God, I should have my shit together. Certainly for a guy, like I said. And so now I'm not going out. Now I can't go anywhere. And then on top of that, I've got to now also perform in a way of doing the videos that I'm doing, that I'm not okay, but I've got to be okay. Then sooner you finish it, you're feeling drained and you're feeling tired and you're feeling like, you know, now I've got to go in an environment where everyone else is and they can see me even more worse than I am. Yeah. And then I've got to pick myself up again. And that's what I was doing every day. So, and
for me, I felt like I had to be the strong one, but it was so freaking hard to see you go through. You know, when you're saying those things, like I had to do this, and they had to see me. I can picture image. I can image the versions of you when you just walk in, you know, and you just. I don't know who you are anymore. You know, you're so drained, and it was really upsetting. But trying to keep everything together, wishing and hoping everything's going to be okay, and still so scared myself inside. It is such a horrible place to. Like trying to,
and you know the weird thing is, I didn't even know what I was feeling at the time. It's
and even for me,
I didn't know what I was feeling or what I was going through.
For me,
I didn't even know it was depression or anxiety or what it was. I was just like going, I'm just feeling crap. I'm feeling suffocated. I'm feeling all this stuff. And why people, you know,
Yeah, and the fact that we had to like show up every day, and as we'd probably argue as well, I'd be upset because you've seen so much, things have been happening, and it's like having to put, jump on and do another video or make content and drained, and times you don't even want to be together.
And it was just my mindset was I kept on saying, Sri, I can't let this fail. I need to make this happen, even if we go through an argument or an issue. And at that time we were. I need to make this video. I need to make this work.
And I was getting drained with all the stuff that I was dealing with from everything that was coming with it. And I even came off. And I was like there was times where I was like, I can't do this no more. I am not doing it. You're going to do it alone. And it's so bloody hard. So we started off talking about content creating, how difficult it is. But the journey.
This is what I'm trying to say. For people who want to do it, guys, it can be done, but the thing is, you got to understand, it's not just simple as stick a camera on and and talk on it and stuff like that. It is, you got to not play. You've got to, your mind is working so many ways. There's so many things that are going on in your head. You got your own insecurities, you've got your own fears, you've got what people might be thinking, you got other people, you got responsibilities, and all these things that happening at that time. That you plus the hope that you want it to become something, and like I said, even when things are working, even that can go against you, because you're going, okay, this is happening, but how long for? And my mindset started being like, I got to work harder, I got to make sure this happens, prove, or I need to make as much money as I can right now, just in case if it fails, then at least until I have to find something else to do, it pays my bills and looks after my family. With that kind of stuff. And then in between, it's not just that. You've got things going on in your household. If your kids ain't well, or they're going to uni and they need you.
I think everything came.
They were going through their exams, and
everything came in one.
And then there was COVID.
COVID happened.
So, and obviously everyone went through COVID. So everyone was experiencing so many different things.
Yeah.
So can you imagine, you got that, you got this, and I was still working in the police force during COVID, and everyone in my police force or at my station had got ill and were off. Many of them got ill, and the other people were in the same office. And if you were in the same office, everyone had, so this was 4 areas that we used to cover. I was the only one who wasn't on duty on that time. So for those 2 or 3 weeks, I was working by myself in that area, in 4 areas. And I was going through, and I hated my job doing that, trying to create a YouTube channel, then also having things like we're all stuck in the house.
You made me think of me. I was going through my online.
Street was going through stuff.
On my online sessions, and that was over COVID as well. And that was freaking difficult because you're now not in the group session. You're having to do it online, and having to make sure everyone's not in your space and feeling the way you, oh my God, there was just lots of stuff going on.
So there was all that stuff.
But the thing is, we got through it. But you don't think you will, but we got through it.
Kept going. And trust me, even this year has been an eye-opener. So each year, there's been something new that we've learned about ourselves and about, what we're doing.
I don't think we would have learned about ourselves if we didn't take this step. You didn't take this step in leaving. We didn't take this step in doing.
I think even with the podcast, we started the podcast and then we stopped, and we had so much going on then. Street had things, but Street will talk about those in our own time. So those are other things. So we had to step back. Street stopped doing Magic Flicks and the podcast this year.
Yeah, it was
she needed time off.
Mental
I think
health.
she had about a few months off.
Yeah.
And I was doing everything by myself again. I went through it again. I felt,
you did, didn't you?
I felt again, this ain't going to work.
First week, I went off it because we're having arguments due to everything that was going on with yourself. Then I went off because I had something going on with my own life, and it was a good 5 months. But then
it just, and she was like, I'm not doing it. And I went into the mode of, even though I picked myself up from everything else, all of a sudden I just went, oh damn, because everyone loved to see us two together, if it's the podcast or Magic Flicks. And even though people come, you got your loyal viewers who do come, it's not the same thing. So because we've always done it, it's like I always say, it's like a comedy act. It's like Ant and Dec. When you saw Ant and Dec kind of thing, I know it's great, like comparing us to something like that. Number one, we ain't as good as them, but you know what I mean. They're a class act. If you haven't got that and you got one person, people still love it, but it's not the same feel, even if they got someone else there.
Yeah.
And so when Street had to, she made the choice. again, I went into the mode of this ain't gonna work, and clearly I could see I could do the work, I can make it work, and but it's not gonna go there, and this is gonna go
You
again.
were trying to be patient with me and trying to understand.
But then I have to be supportive.
But you're trying to be supportive. But there was times where I felt like I could see from
It wasn't
your face.
easy because I felt this is gonna go, and I don't know what I'm gonna do.
You were kind of upset and disappointed as well, but you're trying your best to be supportive.
Because again,
and I felt that. I actually felt, because I was like, I should come back on. But then I'm so glad, that I took that step, that I actually said to you, because we were going to film that day. You were like, are you going to do this? And I was like, yeah, I'm coming in a minute. Then I called you back. I said, you know what? No, actually, I don't want to do this.
Because I'm going to be honest, my thought was, because I've worked, since we've been together, I've worked nonstop. I went from one job to another, to the police force. And for me was, I'm finally doing something that I really enjoy. I enjoy doing this. I enjoy content creating. I always want to be a filmmaker or something like that. I want to create stuff, that people get to see, and you always get the good and the bad. So this for me is, okay, I'm not filmmaking, but I am still filming, editing, doing stuff that I want to do. And for me, it was, if now Street's not doing this and this fails, my mindset was, if this goes tomorrow, it's not what Street wanted to do. It's not something that was her passion, her life. She jumped on. And at the end of the day, she'll find something that she'll want to do or not do or whatever. But again, just like those 20 years I did to do a job that I had to pay the bills and look after everyone, if this doesn't work now and she's not on there, I've got to find another job that I don't want to do, and I'm going to go back into a trapped life of trying to pay the bills, being unhappy again. And my worry was, that was one of the worries. But can you imagine when you finally feel a little awake, you're going, what does any person tend to do when they feel that it's your fault, that I'm not getting to do what I want to do? Because if I'm doing it and people ain't watching, you've let me, you're my partner, and you decide to walk away. It's happened with everyone. Like I said, Laurel and Hardy, all these people, there's people in there, like back in the days, that always teams that people did something together, and you find that One Direction, that we like, that someone walks away and all of a sudden things fall apart. And you're going, what's it going to do with our relationship? That if I'm going and doing a job now that I've got, for me, it felt like, well, you won't have to, because you're going to go, well, I don't want to do this, but I don't have to go to work either, because I didn't, that's not what I've had to do, but I've had to do it. Now, because of you, I've got to go and do another job that I don't like. So what's that going to do with our relationship? So there was that thing of like going, gosh. So again, I was fighting another battle.
Yeah, and not taking into consideration, it wasn't just me, guys, just leaving because I want to leave. Obviously, there was a lot I was dealing with what was coming with the channel itself, which as a woman is really difficult. And then secondly, I was going through a lot of stuff. Even though the understanding kind of was put to the side because of what he was feeling. And when you do guys get to hear about that side of it,
there's a battle. There's a battle of being understanding, but there's also a battle of, damn.
And
you know what? I know basically, if you felt like Street definitely honestly needed the time. I'm not getting that.
If I didn't,
she definitely did. And she tried her best before that to help out, regardless of how she was feeling. So let's just put it this way. She was in a situation where she felt like she was drowning and she needed to breathe. But the problem was, when for 20 years I felt like I was drowning and now I'm breathing, I was worried that I'm going to start drowning again. And then if I'm drowning again, then I'm, how am I going to breathe again? Yeah. And see, and this is what happens when you're in a relationship and when you got other dependents. And this is what I'm saying is, if you guys are in a situation where you got parents or you got a partner or you got other people who can support you, take that risk, take that leap, take that jump. Honestly, if it works out, it's amazing. If it doesn't, it doesn't matter. But you know what? If it's something that's relatable to something that you enjoy or something that you really want to do it.
All those challenges we had,
because we've gone through so much shit to go through it and deal with it.
We didn't have that. Like, you could have literally had support, like had someone else jump in on my time, but we have literally zero person that could have helped you out whilst I needed to have that break.
See, there's people back in the days who I said to Sri that, I used to get on with and who used to love movies, and I used to watch them with them, or we used to talk and stuff like that. Old friends and relatives that, if we were close now and things were different, our circumstances were different, I would have gone to Sri, you know what, you take time out, and I would have gone, if we had that relationship and that friendship, I would have gone, hey, any chance you can just jump in and just do X, Y, and Z with me here or there? Like, we'll have a laugh. I wouldn't have mind. And knowing that, I felt guilty for putting straight in it, because I know that if I had those people, and I could do it with them, we could have had a laugh and could have had a joke and could have, know.
Can I ask you now, though, the version you are now than you were when that all happened? If that was to happen now, that I have to take time off again due to what I was going through, do you think you would have handled things differently, or do you think you would have been?
Yeah, now I just look at it like, it felt like I said, it felt like failure, and also felt like I had to make a certain amount of money to make myself feel like, I'm getting somewhere just in case. It was like a backup kind of thing. I feel like now, if you need time out, I probably work a little bit more. I would probably have to work harder, due to the circumstances, because a lot has changed since then as well. Financially, a lot of things that we're not doing kind of things. So I probably would have to work harder, but yeah, I would handle it better.
Isn't it crazy though? Like,
I would
you would
handle
handle
it better.
But even though you knew what I was going through, the anger and the frustration was coming, and now I know that wouldn't, because you'd be so like, she fucking needs this.
If you think and feel like, from the last podcast that we done about love and respect and people being there, there's people in my life that I would have still thought, you going through what you was going, I was going through what I'm going, even the other time or even this time, that they would have made our life easier. If people who are not the people who are not in our life, so I'm not saying to them, but the people who were or are in our life, they could have, and you lot know who you lot are, they could have made our life easier. So they could have gone, okay, because even though you was going through what you was going through and you needed time out, you had so much more challenges. And on top of that, with you going through so many more challenges with that, I was going through so much more challenges with that. So it wasn't just that you needed time out because what you was dealing with. There was other things, and they did not make it easier. No. They could have gone.
And I think, you know what, in a way, can I just say this? In a way, the fact that all that happened and they were doing what they were doing, now I look back at it, obviously I had gone rock bottom, like completely with everything that was going on. And then that on top was just the worst. I thought, what is the point? Just forget this. But now I look at it, I wouldn't have it any other way, because I feel like I put my foot down now. Where I wasn't, was a walkover. Like, you know what I mean? I'd run around and still do that. Considering I'm dealing with what I'm dealing with. I've been waiting all these years, and I'd still run around, try to make out that, I'm the best thing ever. Like, not the best thing ever, but the best. I'm caring. Doing like I do. Like I do.
Be there for everyone else.
Yeah. And it's not even that. It's like even putting everyone first than myself. And that's why I look back now, I'm thinking, shit, that I had that in me, because I know standing next to the bed when you came in and you're like, oh, we're going to film now. I was like, yeah, okay, I'm coming. And then I turned around and said, you know what, actually come back here. I am not doing this. I can't do it. I'm not doing it. And look back and thinking, it was so difficult for me to do, but I'm so freaking proud that I did it, because I wouldn't have done it, because I knew how difficult it was for you. And obviously, again, the income and everything else that was going to come with it. But then also with what has happened with everyone else who was doing what they were doing whilst I was going through my process, didn't make it easy at all.
No.
I look at it now and thinking, but they've made me who I am, because I've just looked at it now. I'm thinking I have been and it is again to do with your childhood and how you have been the good person, always being there, always trying to show that your best, your best self, or don't put yourself first, always
put others first.
First, and
it doesn't matter even if you're going through your hardship, no boundaries. And not only that,
you never look back and think, shit, all those things that you did, it didn't really matter. It didn't matter. How much you did didn't matter. It's more. Now I'm like, I don't care.
But you even tried to create boundaries, but those boundaries weren't respected.
Not respected.
And then, like I said, it was
where I had
even
to change
though
myself.
They knew what you was going through, what you was dealing with. They put even more, not being understanding, not being considerate, not having empathy or sympathy, and going. And this is what I mean. They could have gone, look, let me help you out. And we can see, obviously, it ain't gonna be easy on him. Let us help him out. And instead, it was like, sod that. It's all about us. And then he was like, piss you, we don't care.
Doing the chasing
So then
again.
he ended up becoming even more of a struggle of battling that with whatever you was doing and me battling. So basically we were on two separate battles, but battling other things as well, which again, we were going, draining ourselves. Now, the honest truth is, I would go, if we were in a situation again, like Sweet went, I don't want to do this for a while, I need some time out. I would go, okay, I know I ain't going to work. I'll probably have to work more. But if people came with situations or said to us, whatever, and they brought themselves, I'll turn around and go, sorry, I ain't got time for your shit.
I ain't got time for it.
You know what I mean? I'm not being bad. I don't give it.
I've been through enough.
Effing crap what you guys are saying or thinking, whatever. If you, and this is what many people turn around, if we're not floating or sorting our shit together and getting on with stuff, you know, we can't, you can't save. It's that thing that, is it Tony Robbins or everyone else says, you're on a flight and then, you know what, if you don't put your own gas mask on first, or your mask on, oxygen mask on first, and how are you going to save someone else? So if you're struggling and you're going through all the crap and then someone's putting even more crap on you,
it's my best.
You ain't gonna be able to deal with it. So what you've got to do is first going, you know, sorry, we're dealing with this. You're aware that we're dealing with this. Let's sort this out and then we'll help you with your shit. Because clearly at the moment, either you sort your own shit out or, you know, whilst we're dealing with ours, or you wait whilst we sort our shit out, then we'll come and help you with yours.
More on top of us. It's like my best friend.
We don't need your shit on us.
Yeah, it's like my...
Because that's what you're doing, you're shitting on us.
Yeah. It's like my best friend said when you said that about the mask. It was like, you know, it's like being a ship, you know, and the tides are coming. And I think I wrote this on my Instagram. It's going to make me freaking cry again. But he did say to me, you need to like put the sails down in order for you to get through or what's coming, the waves that are coming, the rocks are going to come. Because if you don't, everything else is going to sink. And I remember that fully because it was like, obviously I was going through a lot and he's like, you really, really are sinking here. You really need to like be strong. And it's the same thing with the mask thing that you were saying.
Yeah.
It just reminds me of that moment because I was going through a different, and he's been the only person who's been there for me.
Put it this way, the people that you thought that would be supporting you and making your life easier. And like I said, they could have turned around and gone, oh God, Street can't jump on the, you know, like the videos and stuff like that. Can we help out in some way? Not just that or some other things. Other way, let's take the burden off. We understand, you know what, they need this support. They need us lot to be there. They've always been there for us. And instead it was more or less like going, no, we don't care about that. You know, we know what you lot going through. We know it's not easy, but what you lot doing for us? Yeah. And that made it even more struggle because me and Sri, it's like we said on the last podcast, we've always been people pleasers. We've always been, want to be the good, you know, we are good people, so we want to keep showing it and proving it. But we realise that good people always get shitted on.
Yeah. He was just doing it in my head. He said, your son needs you and you need to be, you know, sailing that ship. You need to put your sails up, like, and you're going to be going through some rocky stages here. And I was like, I can't do this. And regardless of how difficult it was, those sayings, it meant so much. And each time now when something happens, it reminds me of his quote, his little saying thing. And he's been there all the time. You know, the one person I can rely on is him. Every time I feel something, the one person who's always been there to support and encourage and like freaking lift me up has been him. He has not ever... Like, I felt shitty, you know, when you say, like, you're going through a lot and, you know, you put that kind of negative energy on someone else, drain them. Because it is when we were together and we are, one's down, the other one feels it as well.
Yeah.
And I am very reluctant at times in telling him stuff, but he's always been there. And that's it. So now it is, like, remembering that again, like, that little thing, like, I need to have my sails up. I need to be strong to get through these waves. Because my son needs me more than anything. Other girls are all grown up, they've gone and doing their own thing, but he really needs me. And then how hard it has been, I can't keep going through this. And it's like putting your foot down now. Like, I'm not who I was yesterday, and I'm not going to do that. I don't need to chase. I'm chasing like I would have done years ago. Everyone I've chased in my life,
you do realise the people that you hope or you expect to be there no matter what, or take that burden off you when you're going through those difficult moments.
They're not there.
You know what? When they're not there, you open your eyes and you turn around and going, so why am I, you know, draining myself for all this time? And that's why I saw, like, you know, you look at your 20 years or your 30 years or your 5 years, whatever it might be, you're going, you know what, I would be there no matter what for these people. But you know what? You realize that when you're going through adversity, you're going through, challenges, and you've got to also look at who was there for you, who was there to, burden that, unburden the weight the baggage that you was carrying, and, help you get through those obstacles and stuff like that, because those are your people. And if those people weren't there, and yet they expect you to then stand up and be there when they're going through their difficulties, their challenges, I'm not being bad,
But we've done that most of the time. It's just
but you
now.
keep on doing that.
It's now. It's
no,
like,
but
shit,
I'm just saying, you've got to look at it and you go in. It's okay when you're in a great place and you're in a good place and you can do that no matter what. But when you're struggling, you're going through a lot yourself, and yet they still go, we expect you to be there, but yet they're not there to help you. It's open your eyes. It didn't at the time.
It hasn't.
You just carried on going.
It's happened so many times.
This is who we are, and this is what we got to do. And I think it's
Again,
more or
it's
less
the blueprint, isn't it? You've been like that.
That
all
blueprint of people
nice
pleasing,
people pleasing
and doing the right thing. But like I said in the last video, and I'll continue on, what you got to realize is, again, love also needs respect. And the thing is, I know for a fact that, there's so many people now, I realize that are in my life still, or not even in my life, people who are not in my life, I think more than anything, which I didn't mention in the last one. There's so many people I still love, that people aren't in my life.
I mean,
for some reason or the other, I could have had great childhoods with them, and, we've been through things, we've overcome things, or whatever it might be. They were there at one point or the other. You drift apart, you grow. There's people that I love, and then there's people that I respect. So there's love and respect for some, but then there's some people that I loved, but I no longer respect. Yeah. That's the thing. So will I always love them? Of course I will, because that's who I am. There could be anyone, friends, family, parents, kids, whatever, siblings, whatever relation it might be. I would always love them till my dying day, because that's who I am. But do I respect those people?
Yeah.
That's the difference. If I no longer respect them, then it's a different relationship. But the love will always be there. I can't get rid of that, because that's who I am. I would still get emotional. I still get hurt, because that's me.
Yeah.
And that's where we said in that last video of, that cowboy and the horse. That's what makes the difference of, will you be there for the people, if they need you, the people that you love? Yes, I will. I would be there and I'll help them if they need it. But the only difference is, if I respect you, I would eat with you, I would be around you, and and there's a different kind of relationship there. But if I don't respect you, I'll still be there for you if you needed me. But then I'll get on back on that horse and I'll ride off. Don't expect me to stay. That's who I am. And that's why I love now that, it's opened my eyes that, it doesn't make you a bad person. You can still, and that's, sometimes you get lost in that. Does that mean I don't love people? Or do I have to prove that I love people? Or does that mean I don't care? No, you can love someone and not respect them.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. And you can love someone and then, you can basically stay with them, enjoy their company, and, respect them, and, trust them, and be happy with them, and still be away. But, you can always come back. But then the ones that you don't respect, yeah, I'll come, I'll help you, but don't expect me to stay.
Yeah.
I'm going.
And you know what? I feel like content creating and doing what we are doing, something that we really enjoy, has made us find that. Because we would have been the same people, just doing the same thing we're doing, just chasing, just doing, getting walked all over and trampled on, no respect for us, whatever. And it's made us respect ourselves. Yeah. It's taken a while, but we've got there. And that's what this year has done to me. Because I'm like, you know what? I know what I've been through. I know what everyone's put me through. I am no longer that person. I am no longer chasing anybody. And I think the day that I was finally done, and I felt it, was the day that I did a TikTok. And that TikTok did really well, because a lot of people saved it, because I was so open with speaking how I did. I was open about, I'm done with chasing freaking, it is like family, friends, people all this time. Like even like, me doing social media, I have men who want to follow me. It's not what I'm here for, but women don't seem to want to support me. And that's okay. I'm actually okay with that now. I'm okay with everything where I wasn't before. Do you know what I mean? And it's just fine, like, and that video did really well.
On our podcast at the moment, it's 60% are men listening to us, and 40% are
I think both my TikTok and Instagram is just men. And I'm okay with it, where I wasn't.
60-70% of men.
I wasn't okay with it. I was really down.
But they're from the UK and US and Canada. So, but they're 60% are men.
So I was really down about it at one point, thinking I'm here for the women. And I thought, yeah, if they're not going to support me, you know what, why am I crying over shit like this? Or why am I wasting my energy? You know what? That's fine. I'm getting love from the men. And I've accepted that. I've accepted that, and I'm accepting, you know what, it's not, I used to read, there's so many doubts that I had about myself, so many insecurities I had about myself, and now I'm like, if that's what it is what it is.
And it's also this, you know, when you like creating content and you're doing social media, you post things out, and you certainly, it's, trust me, if you're a person out there, you know it's not easy talking about yourself and your experiences and your life. It's not. And then you also think, what are people going, like, well, at one point I was thinking, what are people going to think and say? And then you don't know how long it's going to last, but people are going to know about you. Now I have gotten to the point where I don't care. You know what I mean? Fine. You know what?
You were really holding back.
People will judge me.
Tiptoeing around things.
Regardless of what I do and how I've been. People judged me before that. But now even more so, I just look at it going, you know what? Yeah, I'm putting all this out there. But this could go, like I said, earlier, even this year, I went, this could all go. I'm going to go back into that job, or I'm going to go somewhere. This could go tomorrow. YouTube could start, Spotify might not work. Whatever it might be, might not make that money. And I'm going, well, you know what? Am I enjoying it? Yes, I am. Have I grown and learned a lot about me, us, and what we're doing? Yes, I have. Will I still continue doing it if I wasn't making the money? And I said this to you, I would. I would just do it as a hobby, even if I wasn't making money. So would I have to find another job? Yeah, but guess what? I won't be the same person I am doing whatever new job I'm doing. I'll be someone else going, okay, you know what? I used to do YouTube. I used to do podcasts. I'm still doing it, but it was successful at one time. And on top, but it's part of my life. It's part of my journey. And guess what?
And it's made me who I am today. Yeah. On top of that, and I think that's the whole journey.
No, not everyone could do it.
No, not at all.
And not everyone can get the numbers that I got. Yeah, there is loads, but you know, I know for a fact that I did great. And
you know what? When people are comfortable doing the same thing day in, day out, and won't want to take that risk or challenge, which you did, I did, we did together. You know, there's no growth, there's no movement in anything. And I am so grateful that we took that challenge, because I don't want to be the person I was yesterday. And I'm not saying I was a horrible, bad person. I feel like I was a walkover. We both were a walkover, and we are no longer that today. It's taken, 4 years now?
Yeah.
For us to get where we are.
And don't get us wrong.
I mean, just
we'll still be
we
kind, caring, and considerate. That's how we are. That's how we're built.
It's in our blood.
That's how we are. So even if we have to say no to someone, yeah, we feel bad. We do feel. I do, you know what I mean? I don't know. But I know for a fact that if I have to say to someone, you know what, no, I'm not doing it. But I will say it. But I'll just go, okay, you know what, I probably feel bad for them, but in the sense that that's who I am. But at the same time, I know what my value is and how I want to feel, how I want to be.
We never did that before.
And I didn't used to do that. And now I'm going, okay, if they feel bad, I didn't want, that ain't my intention. But if they feel bad, that's not my fault. They've got to deal with it.
Yeah.
Before, you know what, I'll regret it or feel a bit guilty. I won't feel guilty. I know what my priorities are. Yeah. I know what matters. But I do go above and beyond for people who do the same for me.
Yeah.
I do make that effort. So but when the people who don't, I don't feel as bad. I just go, you know what? Yeah, you know what? I'm still nice. I'm still good. I'll still do whatever, but don't expect me, like, you know, anything more. And why should you? So that's called growth. And that's what, and the thing is, I think what main thing is content creating and doing something that you want to do. Doesn't matter if it's this, it could be doing anything. You don't even have to be in front of the screen. But if you start doing things that you enjoy for yourself, you find that there's so much other growth that you get about yourself, the things that you're insecure about.
You probably would never even looked into or never thought that they were there.
And also, yeah, the things that you need to overcome and change. And it's not just, oh God, changing the lighting, changing our mics or the lens of the camera.
Added extra stuff.
Trust me. But those kind of things, it's what you change about yourself or how you turn up.
Yeah.
Each and every single time. And this isn't the end yet.
It isn't. And if you are, you know, in midsway of doing something different, doing something new, doing something out of your comfort zone, just keep in it. Don't matter how hard it is, because trust me, if we're a pure example of all the ups and downs we've had without no support, without no help from anyone, including our own kids, we've had to be there for each other. if you've listened in fully all the way through, there's been times that we both want to give up, we don't want to do certain things. But honestly, stick in there.
Annoyed with each other. And not only that, we're blaming each other.
Yeah.
And, even that, but even those times when we had to do things by ourselves individually.
Because we get people ask questions, don't they?
That became growth because I didn't think I could.
Yeah.
And also when I did do it, when the numbers weren't coming and everything like that, it made me feel like crap. And again, it felt like, oh my God, you know what? People don't like me.
Is that?
And it's stuff like that. Now it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. The questions that come in, like, is that you have such a hurdle anyway. And then it is like the questions we had this morning. How do you keep on top of everything else? You got to cook, you got to clean, If it's something you really want to do, honestly, it is hard. Trust me, we've done it alone. And just keep pushing through because you will learn. I think that the most important thing is the journey, what you are learning about yourself and how you were once.
And again,
and you never would look at that. You would never even realize, oh my God, that was like that. That was me.
Yeah.
There's so many things.
From the videos.
It's from the video. It's from the videos. But I look about certain things before this even began. Things like little certain things. There was a Christmas one time and I was remembering this just the other day. I don't know why. Maybe it's because Christmas is coming up again. And because of all the things I felt about myself, how I didn't want to get involved with you guys when we did have people in our lives. I was just like, okay, I watch you guys from far. I don't want to do it because I don't want to feel like what I feel about myself. Those kind of, what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And now I look at it, I'm thinking, I can't believe that was me. And the thing is the understanding of why that was me. I've learned this through this journey. And there's so much more I'm learning. And I'm actually quite excited because where I am now, and I'm like, I'm putting my foot down. I am a good person. I know. And we both are great people. We are great together. We are great when we're around people. We try to give our all. We are always there for people.
And we would, even now when people ask for advice on that, we give it. But I was always going to say, I know many people turn around and go, but you had each other to do, like, regarding the channel and all that, with everything. There was, like, the things that we've been doing our own individual stuff as well. And we haven't been there, like, we've had to do those things ourselves.
But the thing is,
we've only had each other.
But people say, how can you be with your partner all the time?
And that's the other thing.
We have arguments all the freaking time.
There's people out there
we get on each other's nerves.
Don't even want to be in the house 24, for a few hours with their partner.
So I don't like when
let alone working with them and doing everything with them.
I don't like when people say that because when you've got each other, you ask the people who go to actually work and have 5 minutes with a partner and they're just like, fucking, I need to get out of here. They come home and they go, I need to get out of here.
I need to go and see my friend.
I need to go and have a fucking pint. You know what I mean?
I need to go and see my friend. Or you go and see your family. Go with your sisters, go with your
But we've managed to,
parents.
Isn't that something we've managed to understand and deal with in such a different way? We don't have to leave the house. We know how to probably, we need time out. Whatever else it is. We've learned something where we would have been like a fuming and we realised, oh, hold on, one's getting touchy. And they're just tired, or there's something, you're a bit more like understanding to how things would have been thought. We have had to be because we've only got each other. We can't always just leave. And plus, I haven't got no freaking friends that I want to go and have a pint with, and neither do you.
And I want to eat at night, so I don't want to cause any more issues and problems. Because if she doesn't cook, then I'm
the only one who cooks in this house, as well as doing everything else
I would be in the doghouse, and we actually have a good doghouse in the garden because we had a dog and we still got his house.
Yeah, and I'm the only one who cooks, and this one doesn't tell me enough how much my food is lovely that I'd want.
I tell you all the time, so be quiet. Stop being a drama queen.
It'd be nice to have someone else's food. Yeah, I don't have family, so if anyone is out there who cooks great, I have one friend who actually is a great cook and he cooks Asian food and he's white and he cooks freaking good food. I've never tasted it, but it looks good. It looks good. I want to try his food.
Okay.
But not even him. You know what I mean? I want to try someone else's food other than my own.
I think this podcast was more for those people out there who actually want to go on their own journeys to do something, feel trapped either in their relationships, either in the work that they're doing, and or whatever it might be, just feeling suffocated, low down, feel like, how long is this gonna last? And it does happen. And like I said, our circumstance, it wasn't with our, might have been with our relationship for a time period as well, but that'll be another podcast now.
I think there's many other podcasts.
So many things that we've gone through, trust me.
Even I'm holding back and not speaking about all my stuff, because once you guys get to hear all that side, you'll be like, shit. What?
But the thing is, it's more or less like we've been through so many things, so can't do it in one podcast. This was more to do with leaving a job after 20 years to do something else, but still going through various other obstacles, challenges, issues and problems. and
being a supportive wife and mother at the same time whilst everything was going
everything goes on, and you're trying to deal with those, and then you're getting like various other things happening, but still trying to turn up each and every day because you've got people who, you know, want to see your stuff, depend on you, rely on you, because it is a service. It is to make other people, because even through COVID, the amount of people that used to reach out to us and saying, we're stuck in a house and you guys make us feel like we're doing something, watching family, or we're doing something together, that we don't feel alone. And even till now, they still tell us that, you know, when we were going through our difficult times and we felt alone or we're away,
they didn't know that.
Students, they didn't, but they just went, you guys got us through this.
Yeah.
And so when you hear all this stuff.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were saying when we were going through, when
they were going through stuff, people going through stuff. Yeah. And then when you guys help us go through our difficult times.
But yeah, they did not know that we were going through our difficult times, but it's still showing up each and every time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So if we can go through this stuff, and all I'm saying is nothing's easy. If there's something that you want, it isn't easy. And everyone out there who pretends and shows, if you see our pictures and stuff, you'll see happy faces, you'll see videos that were going up. Again, we were going through stuff, but we were turning up each and every day.
Some of the videos, we weren't even happy, but we were still turning up.
And this is what I'm trying to say to you is, guys, look, people out there, just because they look like things are going great, it's not always the case. And you've got to understand that, you know, everyone's life isn't all perfect, happy, hunky-dory. And you got to just do what you've got to do. Yeah. You got to keep turning up, keep showing up. And,
I think what's made it more extra special for us, and we want to keep doing it, is because the people that we have had in our life and haven't appreciated us, haven't understood us, or, you know, shown that love or support towards us, we are getting it from everywhere else.
Yeah, everywhere else.
And it makes you want to do it more, because you feel like, you know, when they tell you why we are, you know, getting them through certain phases of their lives, or why even just the podcast that something we've spoken about and it's resonated with them and they've taken something away, just that little bit.
And not only that, you realize more what truly matters, who truly matters, and the people who don't and the people who do.
Yeah.
The people who are there for you, that to make you feel happy and good, and the people who don't. The people that you probably did a lot for and they didn't took advantage, to the people who actually, you know, make you feel that you're valued, kind of thing. And then that's the whole thing about life is, it's not just about, you know, it's about loving who you are and loving your journey. Sometimes it is a bumpy, you know, up and down ride kind of thing, but it's riding those waves, like you said, you know.
And I think you have to go through that journey in order to, I think that everything we've been through is to maybe help other people as well, because they're not alone. And there are people who've gone through,
and you got to be playful. It's like now more than anything, I just want to have fun. Yeah. I just want to enjoy myself, because I've gone through all that other stuff. It's like, how can I enjoy this? Like Suri said, if she wasn't going to do this tomorrow, there's always, you look at the sort of the positive side. You look at, this has been great. We've done 4 years of it. You know, I'm hoping it carries on, and, you know, I want to make it better. But if it isn't, there'll always be something. And there's a reason why things happen in the way that they do. But we're in a stronger place. We're in a better place. And we know we could do more. Yeah. Whatever God's got in line for us, then say the same thing. You know what? He'll take us there. I believe in that. That your journey is already written.
We were meant to be.
You've just got to follow the path that He's made for you, and appreciate it along the way. But sometimes when you're going through everything you don't see that. You're
just like, why me?
So
why?
Hopefully one day, wherever we are, we'll see those breadcrumbs that we left behind to see. And, you know, like, was it Steve Jobs who says, you know, line the dots and you realize what path you had to lead to, where you had to become. And sometimes it is something that you've been asking for all along. Yeah. So fingers crossed, you know.
Oh, you used to say, I was thinking the other day, you used to say you went to the God line, you used to do server all the time.
Yeah, I didn't. I done it as a childhood.
Yeah, but with all the stuff that's gone on, you've kind of lost sight of that. And I believe this has brought us so much more closer.
Yeah. Look at her like a...
No, even on my behalf, and I think that was the only thing that I used to think and dream of anyway. You know what I mean? And it's like, I just pictured it being just this rosy, amazing life that I'm going to have. You don't think about all the ups and downs. I think that's what comes with Bollywood, but it kind of warps your mind that everything's just sing and dance, everything's just amazing. But It's turned out
in
amazing.
real proper relationship, you realize that nothing is an easy ride. You've got to work hard for it. Just like now, the whole content creating, what we've been doing is like a whole metaphor of everything that we're going through. If you don't put it in, even through the difficult times, you're not going to, make things work. If you want to make things work, even when times are good, you've got to make it work. Even when times are bad, you've got to make it work. You got to put it in. And even when you're struggling, you feel like you can't breathe, you got to still turn up to make it work. And that's what you got to keep on doing. And the more you keep on doing that, you find the people that will support you, that you could depend on, but you can also realize
we haven't found them yet.
What truly matters, besides like
each other.
But you also realize what your
and my best friend.
Yeah,
can't leave him out.
You realize what your own true strengths are. You know what? Sometimes you don't even notice those, and you just keep on going, and you have to keep on improving, and you see where life takes you. So it's all about starting. That's the main thing. Start where you are with what you got, and the rest, you've just got to
let unfold.
See it go.
Let it unfold.
Yeah.
Unravel.
Anyway, guys,
I'm hungry. I'm thinking about my KFC. I started off about what am I going to eat? I feel like I know I'm going to get a big bucket with everything and everything. Like one of those family ones with the hot wings and I don't eat the other things. The son eats them. What are they? The strip things. I don't like them. But yeah.
Oh, I don't mind strippers.
We of course.
You know what I mean? You know what?
Last time I took you to see strippers, you fell freaking asleep.
Yeah, that was the only time I went to see strippers.
I took him to see some strippers. They were really... I sat there and I was watching them.
I actually fell asleep.
He fell asleep.
I didn't want to go.
We're right at the front.
Right
at the front. And I was like, oh my God, wake up. What are you... Look, she's right next to you. And he's like... But yeah.
Just show us, man.
But I'm thinking about food.
Some of us guys just would rather just have their wives stripping, but that doesn't happen. So
we don't have time. We started off with that as well. We don't have quality time.
We don't have time
for you guys, because you guys are important
to us.
Doing
all the work at the moment, that's the only thing I think we're neglecting at the moment.
To
be honest, is time together. Even though you go, hour and a half, those videos.
Because you guys are important to us.
It's work. Just because you're working together, it doesn't mean quality time.
But the thing is, it is work. But it also feels like an act. For me, it feels like everything we're talking about is going to be of
it is. It is for everyone else.
But I feel like that means a lot.
I mean, it does help, and we do love doing that, and it's still getting to do that, be of service to others or help other people out. But at the same time, it's our time. We haven't had that, and it has been a while. So hopefully, whenever that happens.
So I'm going to get him those strippers now with some hot wings.
So, looking forward to them. They better be hot.
Hot wings.
Oh, for hot strippers.
No.
But anyway,
KFC.
Guys, take care. Write down comments below what kind of other things that you guys want to know about, learn about, that we can share with you guys. And, hopefully we'll see you on the next one.
See you on the next one.
Take care, see you soon.
Bye. Oh, no. Before you go, if you guys are new as well and you've just stumbled across us, jot us down in the comments as well. Let us know you're new and
Leave a
and
message.
everything else is. Yeah.
And where you from?
Yeah. Let us know. Yeah. That. Bye.
Bye.